Carry my prayers on the ocean, carry my prayers on the sea. And if you are meant to be mine, love, one day you'll come home to me. But are you a trick of the memory that the old gods are playing on me? Carry my prayers on the ocean, carry my prayers on the sea. Your blue eyes are there when I close mine. I see your sweet face when I dream. My heart is all ragged in pieces, bleeding at every seam, and I'll learn to walk them alone. But are you a trick of the memory that the old gods are playing on me? Carry my prayers on the ocean, carry my prayers on the sea. No wine and no song can soothe me.
Look, it's always a great afternoon. It's always a great day when we have Emily Scott Robinson in the house. The amazing Emily Scott Robinson.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you
No,
so much
totally.
for doing this with me.
Absolutely. My God, like I love your music too much. Like what a year you've had, Emily. Like seriously, still coming off the high of watching you perform a few times this year. Got a million questions, but I gotta tell you, like, let's start with this. American Siren, I mean, everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean bold, underline, everybody knows this is a special album. Like we could talk about, it's just spectacular, Emily.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so honored, because I think so many of us musicians spent this year really parsing through really deep questions and a lot of time alone in our world. And so, I mean, we really all did as humans. And so this record was written during this period of intense kind of solitude and contemplation. And so it just means so much to me that something that I made on my own in this vacuum in some ways is touching so many people's hearts and finding its way to so many people around the world. I feel really lucky.
Totally.
I really do.
Totally.
Yeah.
And where are you right now, by the way, Emily?
So I'm in Colorado. I'm in my house. I
Love
just
it.
got back from tour. I live in Telluride, Colorado, which is like a little ski town in the mountains of Colorado. And I don't have as much time to ski these days because of the record release.
Right.
But it's beautiful. And I'm a really avid hiker and outdoorsy person and mountain biker. And so I love living here in the mountains. It's really special. Yeah.
And how are the holidays typically for you? I mean, is it like a lot of, Patti Griffin, good food, coffee, hiking, like it's all of the above?
Okay, so you just described my perfect holiday season. Yes. Yes, a lot of Patti Griffin, I love cooking. I love cooking for friends. And right now with COVID, kind of the COVID cases jumping around. It's my friends and I I'm cooking for a bunch of friends and having a dinner party in a couple days. And we're all just like doing the little at-home swabs before we all get together.
Yeah, good.
Because, like last year we didn't have the privilege of having this kind of easy at-home testing. And so now it's like, this year I feel so lucky, like we get to spend the holidays actually having time with our loved ones as long as we're all safe. And so it's a lot of cooking and a lot of walking out in the snow and cross country skiing. And I'm going to see some family. So that'll be nice.
Lovely. Sounds amazing, Emily. And, and you were talking about how like the album came out of your vacuum and all that. And, everyone is putting out the best year of end lists, right? Everyone, NPR, Rolling Stone, The Boot. You know where I'm going with this. Everyone has everyone has your album front and center, like as one of the best albums of the year. It's incredible. Is
Oh,
there, is it in a way, like, I know you don't do it for the validation, you do it for the art, it's obvious, but it still has to be nice that everyone is just like giving it a standing ovation, right?
oh, it's incredible. It's kind of surreal a little bit, because when you're just starting out as a musician, you're making music that you feel really connected to and attached to, and you feel is the best music you can make. And nobody really pays attention to anyone when they're first starting out, and you're just out there building your audience and building your fan bases. And I just remember, Jaime, that like 5 or 6 years ago, when I was still working my day job and I was just starting to like record my first few songs, I would look at those year-end lists. Like
Mm,
I stalked the year-end lists, and
right.
I would look at NPR's 100 best songs of the year. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't even know how you get there. I don't even know how you break in. Like, I just wished that I could make it on there, but I had no idea how. And 5 years later, 6 years later, seeing Let It Burn at number 19 on that list, like I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I was like, no way. Wow. And so it's really special. I'm soaking it all up because to me, the most important thing is that my fans, my immediate fans, the audience members, like you came to my show in Nashville, right? And it was such a magical night. That's the most important thing, is the connection directly between me and the fans. And I think that because of the excitement of the record, the press and the journalism world has really started to pay attention, and they've given it a listen and really loved it. And so I feel very privileged. I don't do it for that reason, but it feels great
Of
to be
course.
acknowledged. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, lovely. I bet. And you talked about the live shows and the audience, and you know, one of the cool things, I mean, I noticed something like when you just finished a highly successful tour across North America, by the way. And I'm always fascinated by the songs that come alive on stage, right? Like that almost transcend the album version. I know like your songs are great in record, but I felt like live, you just like go to like another level. Was there a song that you discovered this tour, Emily, that you're like, wow, this song live is like it's at another level to perform it?
Completely. Yes. And I love that you said that. Thank you, by the way. um, okay. One of the songs that is a very sort of easy listening song on the record that has a really much stronger reaction live is track 2, which is Things You Learn the Hard Way.
Mm,
And it's this really like sweet song on the record. And it's kind of like an easy, an I put it towards the front because it's like easy listening and it kind of
right. A
settles you
palate
in.
cleanser.
Yeah, totally. And in my live shows, I have so much audience engagement on that song because I actually tell them the story of how I wrote it, and that I actually asked all my followers on social media what are some things they learned the hard way, and I kind of tell the story about some of my favorite lines. And there is this one line in the song, and the song's ideas is lessons that you learn the hard way, things you learn the
Yeah.
hard way in life. And one of the lines is, don't get married in a church called Mother of Our Sorrows. And it's just such a crazy line, and it's real, it's true. I can name the person who gave me that lesson that she learned the hard way, and her marriage did not last. And every time I play that song, the entire audience bursts out laughing,
Yeah.
and I have
Yeah.
to like vamp on a chord to wait until they finish laughing to keep going. So like there's some songs that really are really powerful in the recorded version, like Let 'Em Burn, I feel like is very powerful. Old Gods
Right.
is really powerful. And there are some that just translate even more deeply and in a better way, or they're lifted by the live performance. And
Sure.
that is one of them. Um, that one is just, and then the other one that's really powerful in a live setting is Hometown Hero, which is about
Beautiful.
my cousin who died by suicide, who was a
Yeah.
veteran.
Yeah. Sorry
um,
about that.
oh, thank you, I appreciate that. The holidays are this time where we like, grief is this thing where you're sad, but you also love having happy memories of the people that you've lost. And so I was just looking at a picture of my cousin, James, who it was a picture of him sailing like the year before he died, and he looked so happy and he looked so at peace. And so it's sweet to remember people we've lost when they were happy.
Yeah.
And so every place that I've played Hometown Hero at all my shows this fall, because it's a song that for me, I wrote as like an act of service,
Mm.
because I wanted to talk about veterans and mental health and suicide,
Yeah.
because so many people, the nature of depression is isolation. That's part of the disease of it, is that you isolate and you feel as if what you're going through is only your struggle, and you're all alone, and you sort
Yeah.
of wall off. And so I wanted to reach people with that song. And at every show, I've had a veteran come up to me,
Yeah.
and shake my hand, with usually with tears in their eyes, and say, I thought about all my friends who I've lost in this way, or thank you for this song. I even met this amazing woman. I mean, if you can't tell by what I'm saying, my favorite thing is to play live shows and to meet
Yeah.
people. I met this incredible woman in Ohio who was in Iraq and Afghanistan. And she came up to me and she said, oh my God, thank you for playing that song. I'm part of a movement of veterans who are involved in farming and food justice and all this incredible work in the world, where there are all these veterans who are getting involved in farming and like food and the food system. And it's this idea of coming back and having purpose, and purpose giving people with PTSD and people with trauma a sense of a place for healing, and a purpose that feels really good and really positive. And so if that song has been so impactful in my live shows, really.
Yeah. Well, you're making me think now that one of the beautiful things that you do as an artist, and I love this because I kind of relate, is that everybody, it doesn't matter who they are, has a beautiful story to tell, right?
Yes.
And you see it in songs like Overalls, for example, right? Like just
Yes.
such a beautiful song. I mean, where you celebrate like just a good, consistent, neighborly person that
Yes.
the town loves. Um,
Absolutely.
so, in your previous life, and I think that it ties in together, because I imagine that maybe it comes from that, and maybe this is also where you maybe learn Espanol, is you worked with in a nonprofit,
Yes.
for immigrant women, right?
Yes, I did. I actually, I I was a social worker at a nonprofit that helped victims of domestic violence and sexual assault.
Hmm.
And we also did a lot of immigration advocacy. And
Yeah.
I was our primary bilingual staff member. And so I worked with the Spanish speaking community in Telluride, where I live. And actually, it was work that I really loved, because we all want to feel like we're helping in the world,
Yeah.
and doing something useful. And it was so it just was so wonderful. I loved that work. It was really hard work, um, because so many of the immigrants that I worked with were such valuable members of our community, and didn't have documentation, didn't have sort of a legal status
Hmm.
that could give them the stability that they deserved as
Right.
hardworking members of our community. And in particular, I saw how vulnerable women and children were to this lack of documentation, and to this sort of unfair designation for specific categories of immigrants from certain places as being, quote, illegal. And so I loved working with the Spanish speaking community, and actually then later went on to be an interpreter at a hospital.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what I did was immigration law advocacy, with people, helping them find ways to become documented. And that was that was under the Obama years. It was when DACA was passed, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of work getting young people
2012,
documented.
2013, around
Yes,
there, right?
yep,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. And then it was a really scary time, to be completely honest, when Obama left office, and we had an administration that was so deeply xenophobic and anti-immigrant and
Yeah.
anti-refugee. That was I was born here in America. I don't fear losing my status, but so many important members of our communities across the country were in terror
Yeah.
and lived in terror for
Yeah.
years. And so this is a cause I'm so passionate about. And haven't really found, I have never written a song in Spanish yet, because sometimes I feel like that's a bridge too
It's
far.
coming. It'll come. It'll happen. Emilia, Scott Robinson, it's gonna happen.
All right, Jaime, I'm gonna have to run it by you when I write it, so you can make sure it makes sense.
Perfect.
So,
We'll go to the studio here in
yeah,
Berry Hill or something.
perfect.
Oh my God, Emily. But that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing that you did that, and it shows in your music. And actually, you know, I'm not gonna name the singer, but a pretty big singer just performed last week, and her drummer is engaged to a Canadian girl, and we think that it's only Hispanic people, but like she's going through a really horrible experience, and she's Canadian. Like I thought she was American, but she's going through it. The
Right.
system just sucks, basically.
The system does suck, and there's so much to be completely honest, there's so much racism built into it.
Hmm.
And like yeah, I mean, there are it is in some ways much easier for undocumented immigrants who are white or European or Canadian to sort of pass in the United States.
Yeah.
And then there are plenty of Spanish speakers with a slightly darker shade of skin who are born in the United States and raised here and treated as if they do not belong. And so it really does come down to me, it comes down to racism.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's a tough system to navigate, and it made me feel really, I loved being able to help people navigate it. Because like, especially I worked with I helped women get what's called a U visa, which is a special visa and status that can lead to permanent residency. So it was a great option. And this is for victims of a violent crime. And if they report the violent crime and they collaborate with police in the prosecution, they are able to gain a legal status, or sorry, a documentation in the United States. And I helped over 10 different women and their families go through this really lengthy, really complicated process to get the visa. But what I felt like I was really doing was like providing concrete stability in their life and helping them navigate a system that was like almost impossible for English speakers to understand.
Yeah, no, people have no idea.
Yeah, that's crazy. So anyways, I feel like if you don't know or love somebody who's been involved in an immigration process, there's not a lot of compassion. And there are lots of groups of people who don't really understand immigration issues or the immigrant experience. And I just, it's a cause I'm really passionate about. And when I actually signed my record deal with Oh Boy, they're such a philanthropic family and organization. And one of the big things they asked early on was, what are the causes that you're passionate about?
Nice.
Like, what charitable causes you're passionate about? And I said, this one. So I'm looking forward to continuing to just kind of do benefit work for immigrants and refugees.
Oh my God, Emily, that's
matters
amazing.
a lot.
Thank you for doing that.
Of
Seriously.
course, yeah.
Seriously. I could talk to you for 17 hours. I can already tell.
I know, me too.
Like, this is ridiculous.
I love this. This is amazing.
Is ridiculous. Oh my God. So let me ask you about something that my audience may not know. It's a classic story. You've talked about it ad nauseum, but I think it's great. You know, like when you live with your husband in the RV.
Yes.
Going across the country, you know, he basically went all in to support his wife and your dreams. And I was thinking about that. Don't you think, Emily, that in a way that like gave you like a hunger that to this day, like there was like some unintended good stuff that came out of that period, don't you think?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. So in 2016, my husband and I sold a bunch of stuff, moved out of our house, put things in storage, and we bought this motorhome and we moved into it full time. And it was so funny because we were going to do it for a year, and then a year turned into 2, turned into 3, and then ultimately 4 years we were on the road in this motorhome. And we traveled all over the country. And in some ways, it was like, in order to really make a dream happen, sometimes you can't give yourself a choice. Sometimes you have to pull the safety net.
Yes.
And so we did it in a way where we had money saved. So we did have a financial safety net in case things didn't go well. You can always say, all right, never mind, I'm going back to my day job if it doesn't work. But it did work. And we moved into the RV and I started entering contests and playing shows across the country. And when I first started playing shows, it was literally like, I'd email like a little cafe or a little venue. I might play on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. I might make $100 if I was lucky. There might be 10 people there. It was little shows. It was house concerts. It was all DIY. And I was doing it all myself.
Amazing.
And I'm really proud of that. It's kind of incredible. And I was also a lot of doors opened quickly for me.
Of course.
And so what that did was finally quitting my day job gave me the time and energy to dedicate to what I needed to do, which I knew in my heart and soul was write songs and perform them and share them with the world. And I knew that so deeply that was my gift and it was my calling. And so living in an RV for that long and living on the road was like incredible training for being a touring artist, because you really learn how to, your life becomes so simple in a lot of ways. Like you're learning how to, you're learning how to travel all the time. But you're also learning the most important thing, which is how to make home anywhere.
Beautiful.
And how to find home and fulfill your needs as a human anywhere you go in the world. And so whether that's food or coffee or going for a walk or meeting people. And the other thing it really did was I just met so many people and sort of jumped out into the universe and said, like, please catch me. And they did. And I heard incredible stories. And we relied on people to take us in and give us hospitality and help us along the way. And they really did. And so this was during the Trump administration, right? Which was for me a time where I was seeing a lot of fear on both sides being used as a tool to divide Americans. No matter where you fall politically, fear is a tool that people in power will use to try and divide you.
Sure.
And I saw so much fear on the news, and I saw so much fear in the press. And there was a lot of real fear to be had, particularly for marginalized communities. And I think I was on the ground around America, meeting people of all walks of life and experiencing their stories and their hospitality and their kindness. And so what I was really seeing was like a remedy to that fear. I was seeing that like what makes our culture, and what I was getting to see every day, what makes humans beautiful and what is still good about small towns and big cities and communities across the country. And there was so much good still. And there's not a whole lot of press ratings for good stories, but it was great to be able to sort of unplug and see America for what it really was at the time, which, there was a lot of fear and uncertainty. Absolutely. And that was very valid. But there's also still so much beauty and so many hardworking people and kind people and so much generosity. And I got to experience that. And so it was really special.
Wow. There's so much to unpack there. I mean, so beautiful. I mean, so many interesting things you said there, like where focus goes, energy flows, like totally, if you focus, like you conspire the universe and make your stuff happen. And and also the thing about gratitude, right? Like what's wrong is always available, but so is what's right. And
yes,
you're such a
completely.
kindred spirit, Emily. Unbelievable.
I know, seriously.
Oh my God. You're amazing.
So
You're amazing.
great.
I wanna play. You've been so good with your time, and I wanna
Of
play a little game
course.
for you. But let me ask you this also
Okay.
before the game. As we go into 2022, right? Obviously, 2021 was awesome on a professional level, but Emily Scott Robinson, the person, what's a beautiful soul that keeps on growing? You're always growing, I can tell. What is a facet that you want to shed going into the new year? Like, I don't know, like procrastination
Ooh.
or reactiveness, something that you're like, okay, I need to work on this.
Yes. Oh my God. It was the first one you named. Oh, well, I would say actually, okay, this is a tough one. but there are one thing that I want to shed going into the new year is my sense of wanting to of my sense of control. And so what I tend to do when my career, this is like one of the growing experiences of my career. When I first started out, I managed everything. And as my career grew and as my business grew, I could no longer hold it all. And if I tried to hold it all, it was going to keep it small.
Yes.
And so I've been inviting on, now I have a record label, I have a manager, I have people who are helping me. And as I'm learning to surrender these things that I thought I needed to control, or I thought I was really good at them, I'm finding that there are people who are right there by my side to help me with aspects of my career that actually I'm not that good at. Like actually, as it turns out, I'm a little disorganized with the accounting side of my business, or I'm not the best at social media graphic design. Like I used to have to do all that myself. And so I'm shedding this need to control it all and keep it small, because as it grows, people are just right there to support me. And I have the best team ever. They are wonderful. And so I'm just, sometimes we as musicians, as creators, we have these big dreams and we're like, oh my God, our idea is that like everything outside of us is what's responsible for giving that dream to us. But ultimately, sometimes we aren't reaching what we really want because we are stopping that growth. Because it's scary to grow and it's scary to change. It feels scary. It's like uncomfortable. It's new. There's so much unknown. And I've had so much fear arise in my body and my heart this year as everything grows, and I could feel it just like expanding. And so I'm going to be letting go of like my need to control it all and manage it all, and allowing others to help me and asking for that help and understanding how much that is worth, because ultimately now my job is to be an artist, and I've been like artist / business owner / booking agent / manager / everything, for 5 years. And now it's like, okay, well, you have people who are meant to do that now for you, Emily. Your job is to write the songs and sing them. So yeah, I love that question, Jaime. Thank you.
No, but it's wonderful. And when we put ourselves like such high standards, like when people like have like standards of perfection, perfection is the lowest standard you can have, actually, because it's unattainable. So then you get discouraged, and then it affects your state, and then you end up not doing anything, and it becomes like a self-fulfilling thing,
I know this so well. Yes. I'm sure that you've dealt with this too.
Yeah, obviously, but I'm glad that that you're digging deep, because we all got to do that and embrace our garbage to keep growing.
100%. Yes.
Love it. Oh my God, Emily. Well, listen, you've been so good with your time. You have a lot to do. I do want to play a little game, and I'll let you go. It's called Flip the Tune.
Okay.
And the premise is simple. I am going to play 3 10-second clips of your songs in reverse.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. And then, because, I want to know how well you know your songs when they're like played in reverse.
Oh my God. I love this.
Okay.
This is amazing. Oh, wow. I have no idea how I'm going to do.
So we're just going to, we'll see. You'll be surprised. I mean, we've seen all sorts of results, but all right. I have high hopes for you, Emily. All right. Let's go with the first one. Flip the Tune with Emily Scott Robinson, and away we go.
I know this one because I was just listening to a record pressing of it right before our interview, The Time for Flowers.
That's right. Very good.
And what gave it away is that fiddle part, the fiddle double stops. Because at first I was like, I don't know. But yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. You're already like in the top half of the curve. Awesome.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Okay, 1 for 1. Let's go with the second one. And away we go.
Is this overall?
Final answer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Emily.
I love your sound effects. What was that?
New Orleans.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jaime. I have not listened to that song, the recorded version, in so long. Okay, perfect.
Oh my God.
There was no way I would have gotten that one. Okay, that
I
makes me
love
feel
it.
better.
Okay. Yeah, I got to put a little tough one in there. All right,
I
let's go
love it.
for the passing score.
Okay.
To finish the year strong, Emily Scott Robinson flipped the tune, and away we go.
Stop skiffing us. Feeling after. Swell can they don't back to us. Fish that beating this must. Hey, no, I'm safe, but go on.
I have no idea. Hang on. Can I ask which record it's off of?
I'll tell you what. I'll play you 5 more seconds. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Here we go. 5 seconds.
Okay. Oh my God. Is this? Oh, okay. I'm gonna make several bad guesses.
Okay.
Is this Everyday in Faith? Or no? Hang on. I love your sound effects so much. As a '90s kid, they're perfect. Which song was that?
The Time for Flowers.
Oh wait, there's a Time for Flowers again?
Yeah.
I didn't think that you could do 2 of them in the same one.
Is that cheating?
Yes.
A little bit.
I was like, which
Okay.
one has this? Will you do another one?
Sure, I'll do another one.
Yes. Okay,
All right.
good. All right.
Because I agree with you. That was a little bit unfair. All right.
Okay, I'm really excited to see if I can get this one. Okay.
All right. Let's see which one we have.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. And away we go. Yeah, because that was a little. You're right. Here we go. You got it?
Actually, I'm not sure that I got it. Hang on. I'm trying to think which has a fiddle solo like this.
I'm gonna give you 5 more seconds because I want you to
Okay.
pass, Emily. We're all rooting for you.
I really want to pass. This one is Overalls.
Yes. Yes. All right. Okay. You did it. You passed the game. You are amazing.
Yeah.
Emily.
God, that is the most amazing test of my ear. I love it. Oh my God. Thank you, Jaime. This
Emily,
is so much fun.
Scott Robinson, we just, we are enamored with everything about you as a fellow human being. Thank you for existing. Seriously. Just everything.
God.
Not just the music and all that, but just you as a human being. Like, what a spirit, empathy, love, growth, caring, connection. Thank you so much, Emily.
Thank you, Jaime. You are amazing. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope to make it back to Nashville really soon. And I can't wait till I get to talk to you again.
Oh my God, for sure. Take care, Emily.
All right. Bye.
Bye.